How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be installing these Govee recessed lights. I'm going to be showing you how to cut a hole for them and also how to wire. And then at the very end, I'll show you a quick little test of these in action. I've actually installed these in 3 different rooms so far, and I've been really happy with them, especially when it comes to the actual app support. Like I was saying, I will be showing you exactly how to wire these up, but if you're not comfortable working with electricity, make sure that you guys get some help. But if you guys are comfortable doing a small electrical project, let's go ahead and cut to the actual installation. All right, so the first thing that I went ahead and did here, I made a bigger hole with a hole saw. You guys can get away with a 6 1/4 inch hole saw. That's what I'm using here, but they did recommend a slightly smaller hole saw. But I'm just saying, I've done this once already and this seemed to work out just fine. All right, so I already turned the breaker off and we turned off the switch. So the wire is not hot. So from there, it's really easy. All we have to do is wire these 3 wires up. We're gonna push out one of these knockouts, just bend it back and forth. Then we're gonna be using a 3/8 wire clip right here. So all you have to do is just push it in. All right, so it should look like this. And if you're daisy chaining, you're gonna knock out the other side as well. All right, so next I wanna make sure that all my wires are the same length. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trim these up. And then we're just gonna strip the ends of these wires. So from there, just fish the wires in through your wire clip. Should look something like this. So we're gonna put the black wires together and twist our wire nut on. Once you guys have the wire nut on, make sure that you guys give it a tug. Make sure that both the wires are equally grabbed, so that feels pretty good. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the white wires. We're just gonna wrap them up together, twisting them the same way that we're gonna twist the wire nut. Once again, give the wires a slight tug, make sure that they're both grabbed. Then lastly, you're gonna get that green/yellow wire and wrap it up with the copper wire. All right, so all the wires are connected and they feel really sturdy. I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap all of these ends up with electrical tape as well. Obviously, I am not a professional. We're just doing a DIY project today. And of course, if you guys aren't comfortable with this type of work, do not do it yourself. So first I wrap it around the wires a couple of times and then I go up to the wire nut and back down. And that will just help make sure that the wires aren't going anywhere. Normally, it'd probably be best to just cut the wires even shorter so that you could feed this part through the wire clip. All right, so it's all wired up. Now we just have to push it all back into the box and we'll shut the box. Sometimes these boxes open up on me, so I usually just wrap 1 layer of tape around the box as well. And then you just have to push it out of the way and just make sure that you keep this wire somewhere that you can get to for the actual light. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put this up on the wall. Make sure that you guys still have this foam ring on the light, because sometimes they might fall off in the packaging. So just make sure it's there. It'll just help keep it sealed. Make sure that no air is getting through. We're just gonna plug these ends together and then they have a little locking mechanism. So it goes in a certain way and then you have to rotate it. And then you can see that it's locked. And now you're gonna push one end all the way up and over. And basically the same thing with this one. All right, and just like that, the light is installed. Let's go ahead and turn the breaker back on and see how bright it is. And if you guys heard that, I flipped the switch and it did take about half a second for this light to turn on. So I did want to mention that there is a slight delay when you guys turn these on via switch. But to me, it's not a big deal. I do like how they gradually turn on. It's not just immediately bright. And obviously I really like having the RGBs on here, especially during the holidays. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this to my Govee app and then I'll show you some of the other functions. All right, so when you guys launch the app, you're gonna press the plus in the top right and find the light, and then you'll add it to your network. But this is what it's gonna look like on the app here. So we have all of the color temperatures from 2700 to 6500, and you guys have presets down here, and you could also make your own presets. We have full RGB function, so we could change it to any custom color here and save it. And then this is one of my favorite things about the Govee lights. You can set it up with all of these scenes here. And so the light will actually move to whatever scene you select. There's custom ones. And then of course, you guys could even hook this up to music. So right now it's going off of just my voice. And then we also have share space. So you guys can see what other people have done on the Govee app and really customize things here. We also have a sleep timer, so you guys could wake up to this or have it turn off while you're going to sleep. A bunch of really cool settings here, and you guys could even connect this to a group. So I have this Dream View group right here, and it will actually link up to my Govee TV light and change to the movie. So this is where you're gonna do that adjustment. All right guys, and that's basically it for today's video. Hopefully this was able to help show you how to install these Govee lights. I've really enjoyed mine so far, and I'm very confident that you guys would enjoy these as well. And with that being said, that's it for today's video.